Alright, folks, this is real. This is real. Welcome to La Resistance. We're gonna give it one more shot, okay? We're gonna give it one more shot. We're gonna be trying out this list heavily metagamed towards the Valki nonsense that is taking over the format. It's very likely that playing Primeval Titan is just not correct in this list, and I should be playing maybe a second Jace and an Hour of Promise. That's also something that I considered. I wanted to start off with a couple of Primeval Titans, but we're gonna see where that goes. This list was inspired by the list that I played this past Friday, but after looking at, the results from the weekend, which was basically Valky decks completely dominating every single event over this past weekend, I put together this list with a couple of interesting choices that I'm going to explain right now. So number one, we are playing the full 4 copies of the Fairy Time Raveler, none of that Dryad nonsense. Cutting the Dryad not only makes our mana base more consistent, so we have access to Field of Ruin, Flooded Grove, we have access to Reflecting Pool, Prairie Stream, like a bunch of basics as well. No need for Valakut and that nonsense, and resolving the Teferi is just very good against the Valky decks for obvious reasons, because it stops the Cascade. So we're going heavy on the Teferis, we're going heavy on the forces to protect the Teferis, because the Tibble decks have adapted and now they're playing blue cards, so they're playing their own forces, they're playing Cryptic Commands, they're playing their own Teferis, Embrace and Borrowers. So going up to the full 4 Force of Negation so we can play Teferi and then protect it immediately. Getting ahead on mana in the Valky matchup is going to be very important, so using Growth Spiral for that reason. We're playing 1 main deck Spell Pierce. Yes, Spell Pierce, that card that is obviously terrible against decks that play Udo and Ramp consistently, but because of the Valky decks, I have 1 Spell Pierce in the main deck and a second copy in the sideboard, just because we have to. But to exile as a removal spell of choice, either Gust in the main deck, couple more copies in the sideboard as well, but 1 main deck copy of Aether Gust, 1 Mana Leak, 2 Remands, and then Cryptic Commands, 1 Jace, 1 Teferi, of course Field of the Dead as the other win condition. So as you can see, the main deck is very heavily metagame towards that deck. The sideboard is in a similar spot. A couple of Celestial Purges and Deafening Silence. Deafening Silence, of course, being very good if we can protect it against this nonsense deck. 1 Mystical Dispute, second copy of Spell Pierce and Gust, as I was saying. 1 Veil of Summer, 1 Supreme Verdict, 1 Ashiok, couple of Python Needles, of course, to name Tybalt. 1 Soul Guide Lantern, couple of Engineered Explosives. I have not played a single match with this list. This is all theory crafting, but we're gonna see how it goes, and we're gonna take it one more day. We're going to fight the Valky menace. But some things have become just actual truths, right? You cannot ignore the deck. You cannot hope to dodge the deck because the deck is just too good. It's just, we are in a situation like we were in the Hogak metagame where like the deck is just too good and the shell is just too good. So you can't just half-ass it anymore. You need to, it's just so much better than the rest of the format that you can't half-ass it anymore. If you want to not play the Valky deck, you need to have a very good plan against the Valky deck. The only one who has not fallen into the Valky is Oblivion. Well, I was inspired by Spike. Honestly, I was gonna stream Limited today, but I was watching Spike stream and I'm like, okay, I'll give it one more chance. I'll give it one last chance. See how it goes. Our mana's not great here, but seems like a fine hand. Scalding Tarn could be anything. Now we can Sanctuary on 1, which would allow us to Fairy on 3, which is nice. You're playing Modern, also yay for Spike, yeah. He was the inspiration, or maybe should I say the trap I fell into. He was the one who tricked me into playing this cursed format. Probably gonna be getting tapped Hollowed Fountain? Unclear. Also unclear what I'm playing against here. Growth Spiral. Okay, at least it's not a Valki deck. And it seems like our main deck Eldrazi is gonna be good, so that's nice. Path to Exile obviously not gonna be particularly great, but it is what it is. Tapped Hollow Fountain, I think. Holding up Hardcast Force. I don't think jamming this Teferi into my opponent's Cryptic mana is gonna be a good idea. Something tells me that it might not be the best plan. Reflecting Pool. Oh, so we're playing against Temur Giants. Okay. We are playing against Temur Giants. If they slam a prime time, I Cryptic? I think so. Jace. They have Remand up, so just gonna counter draw here. They're gonna Remand probably my Cryptic. They Remand my Cryptic. So now we get to force the Jace. Pitching probably Mana Leak. Not the best exchange for us, but we can draw this force. Let's play Teferi. Probably gonna get forced. It doesn't. Okay. So since it didn't get forced, I guess I just plus. This is bad if my opponent has prime time, but why not just Mana Leak? Because if we Mana Leak, they Remand their own Jace. It's still a 2-for-1. They have prime time. Yeah. And that's why I was hesitant about pitching the Mana Leak instead of the Cryptic command. So we're gonna have to start to tap draw. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we still don't have enough lands. Awkward. Can start here. Remand is interesting. So I guess we're going to just tap and draw here. Yeah. I could have drawn the force. I don't think we want to draw the force just yet. Sanctuary doesn't do anything for them. Oh, that's it. That's cool. So we're gonna have to Mystic Sanctuary back the Cryptic. 1, 2, 3. Udo to draw the Cryptic. I'm gonna have to dodge here. Maybe I should have counter drawn here. No, I have to counter bounce. I just have to counter bounce, I think. And I'm probably gonna have to, I guess, path the Primeval Titan. We path the Prime Time just to have it, just to put a card into the graveyard so we can Uro. Actually, we path our own zombie. That gives us more mana. Yeah, that's definitely line. So we're gonna Cryptic, tap and bounce. And we're gonna path our own Zombo. If they have Ren, that's bad news. Lightning Bolt is also bad news because it answers the Fairy. But hopefully we can establish a lock here. We do have access to our Aether Gust. Ren is... I guess it's not that bad. We can just kill it. Yeah, Ren is actually not that bad. They get like what, land back? Yeah, they get a Vista. They just played. I guess that we can't attack it. With also thanks to a borrow. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, not as polished as you'd expect. Let's put this Cryptic back on top. Yes. Green, green, blue, blue. Fairy doing the fairy things. Wow. That's an early concession. I'll take it though. Okay, so Bant, Titan. We don't want these. We do want these. We do want this, this, and this. Probably not Spell Pierce. Needle seems at least interesting. Just jam 4 Teferi in your deck. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Guess let's go back. Let's go down to 2 other gusts. So this is closer to what Everos has been playing. I don't know what Everos has been playing. I just basically brewed this up 15 minutes before the stream using the list that I streamed on Friday and what I had seen both Spike and Mattia Rizzi play over the weekend. So that's how this deck came together. Just such a beautiful story. No Cascade Splash for Valki. No. It's not. Oh, Austin. Yeah. I don't know where you've been, but things have been rough in Modern. Things have been rough. Turn to Ren is brutal. I guess turn to Ren specifically is a reason to have Spell Pierces in my deck. Thorniel, thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. Oh, for the sub, actually. Oh, my bad. Wood, coming back for the 10th month. Awesome. Thank you, Thorniel. I appreciate it. It's been a minute. I've been hiding away from Magic for studying exams. How Loki was missing. Loki okay with missing this? Yeah, you're definitely in fine shape. Also, they play Udo before activating Ren. Weird. They just got it. I guess that I jammed Fairy then? Yeah. I'm super Udo flooded, but like this is just a great window to get to resolve the Fairy. Hutsong with the Prime sub, 11 months. As long as the decks have Titans, I'll be here. Sounds good, Hudson. Hopefully the same goes for myself. Hopefully the same goes for myself as well. We are in the Resistance, though. Uh-oh. Invasion of the Giants. So powerful. One top, one bottom. Right before playing the that's some some interesting sequencing there, opponent. Hope Titan Talk powers through this Valki pandemic. I think that Jose has given up already, which is 100% understandable. Very, very much understandable. Okay. I'm gonna plus again here. Really hoping that my opponent doesn't have Primeval Titan in hand, because that would suck. Second Breeding Pool is what they fetch there. That's interesting because that means that their field is going to be one turn behind. They reveal Primeval Titan. Yikes. Big yikes. And we don't have a Cryptic just yet either. That's going to be a good Primeval Titan. Maybe my opponent will play around Mana Leak and they'll wait one turn. That would be awesome. They ping with Ren. Interesting. Are they going to play another invasion? No fear of mana leak. No fear of anything. They beat Valki or play Valki meta, yeah, and then get paired against another deck that wants to beat Valki, and then it's all nonsense. It's rough. It's rough out there in the modern trenches right now. Soul Guide Lantern, you got it. There's more where that one came from. So I guess my opponent's playing my list. Because I don't think Spike was playing Soul Guide Lantern. Big yikes. Big yikes. So we have to draw exactly Cryptic Command right here. That's not awful, but that doesn't do it. Yeah, this is just too much to come back from at this point. I guess I could draw exactly... If I drew exactly... But my opponent's going to answer my Teferi, so... Yeah, I think we're done here. Okay, so now we are on the play. Now we are on the play. Should I have a Verdict in my deck right now? Let's have one Verdict in the deck. In a situation like that, if my opponent manages to get a Titan under, Point also moves to 6. On a scale from Bitter Blossom to Eidovugin, how oppressive is Valki? Hogak. That's how oppressive Valki is. Wonderful. So not as oppressive as Eidovugin, but pretty damn fucking close. Do you think it'll change the rules and maybe ban him? I hope so. I really, really hope so. Really, really hope so. Please don't have Ren. Please, pretty please don't have Ren on 2. Can Hogak beat Valki? I imagine that, yeah. Yeah. Let's just play this Uro here. My opponent can counter it. It's kind of whatever. And if they don't, then we draw Mana Leak. Okay, it's not the worst. We still don't have triple blue, which is kind of awkward, but... we still don't have triple island, sorry, for Mystic Sanctuary purposes, but... They don't have a Ren mana, which is good for us. Udo is perfectly fine. It seems really easy to... It seems really, really easy for them to change the rule, right? Honestly, it's a super straightforward change. So I'm basically counter anything my opponent would play here. I think I'm fielding. Mostly to get a card into my graveyard. And it does mess up their mana. Gonna get an actual island. Can I check Discord after this? I will, Morgan. Sounds good. Yeah, I mean, they already changed a very similar interaction, right? So it honestly would not be the craziest thing for them to switch things up again. Do you want to? I guess I don't want to play this Mystic Sanctuary here. We can just chill. Soul Guide Lantern. I basically just want to use my mana on kind of anything at all. They can maybe remand their own Soul Guide here. They remand my Mana Leak. Sure. Not a great exchange for us, obviously, but we still get to draw a card. They're gonna get to exile our Udo. But it's still not the end of the world. And if we draw anything of relevance here, we're in really good shape. Zizek just Omn Udo, but not lame. It's Omn Udo, Omnath Uro, but less lame. It's probably an accurate way of putting it. I don't know if I would go ahead and call it not lame, but it at least is less lame. Opponent really tanking about this right here. 1, 2, 3. To fairy. Having 4 copies of this bad boy, paying off. Maybe I should have minus there to draw the cryptic. Kind of don't think that's a good play. Like, we still have Mana Leak for these Uros, so it's not that big of a deal. We could even just let it resolve and bounce it. I think I want to leak it though. Like, we're gonna have cryptic anyway, right? And this, like, my opponent's mana is clearly a mess right now. So I don't want them to draw out of it. I can see the cryptic then changing the role. I mean, it seems, honestly, it just seems like the only solution. And it's just so easy, right? It's such a straightforward solution. Seems to me like a super, super clean solution. I guess I counter draw. There's nothing for this mana that I'm scared of. Maybe another Soul Guide Lantern. Continue digging through our deck, find second cryptic, that's great. Keep on plussing here. Teferi is not going anywhere. Counter draw. Monocryptics. How many players have abused Valki so far? This is my first match of the day. Give me that cryptic command, please, and thank you. Opponent has had enough. Teferi. It is just a 4 Teferi meta, folks. It is a 4 Teferi meta game. Making Magic Hearthstone since 2019. Yep. I mean, Hearthstone from our opponent. And Magic is more powerful than Hearthstone, apparently, because when your opponent plays Hearthstone and you play Magic, you tend to win, which is interesting. Weird how that happens. Teferi is the good guy. What a world. Like, Udo is the good guy right now. Like, nobody is complaining about Udo right now. That's how bad Valki is. Wizards is like, you know, everybody's like, ban Uro. Uro is fucked up, like whatever. And Wizards is like, hold my beer. Hold. Shit's gonna go nuts. Just wait. I think the Valki Twin deck might be the best variant of the Valki deck. You'd ever won one in Uruban before. Yeah. Can we go back to pre-war, please? Yeah, I wish. I think that Valki is broken. Doesn't mean that Uro is kind of abusive, though. I agree completely. But nobody is complaining about Udo right now because, like, T-Vault is just so gross, so just unhealthily worse. Unhealthily? Is that even a word? I will make it a word. So much unhealthily worse. That is not even funny. Oh, wow. Now that's a card I have not seen in a while in Modern. All right. My opponent playing the fair Gemstone Cavern decks. Playing a hella fair Gemstone Cavern deck. Uro isn't the hero we want, but the hero we need. I mean, I'm honestly just... I'm just upset that I can't really argue with you right there. Because, like, that's just a true statement. Like, we need Udo right now. Udo is the only thing stopping Valki from being literally the only thing in the format. We have options here. I think we just Udo. So if my opponent has Thought Knot, they can't exile it. Hopefully we hit our land drop. That would be awesome. Sweet. Not the land drop I would have preferred, but it'll do for now. But now my opponent can have a Thought Knot, and that's fine. We just path it, or we just bounce it. Now we probably path it. A lot of the dual decks are playing Burst in Borwood, which answer most hate cards. Yeah, that's why you can't Spike was talking about like just playing like deafening silences and playing. They take the ferry. Wow. Okay. I was just adding like deafening silences and stuff to Reclaimer, and I just don't think that does it. This is very interesting. If I find a white source, that means I don't have second green. So unfortunately, I think I just have to chill here. I could play Teferi and minus on the Thought Knot to draw a card, but then they get another peak. They kill the Teferi, which is what I want, because I want to put stuff in my yard. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I guess we just pass. Hopefully you can just change Cascade so you can cast the front card with it in Banur and Side Trip. Yeah, exactly. And more importantly, basic islands. Sounds about right. Oh. This is actually pretty good for me. Because now I can path this Smasher, and I can discard the card that I needed. So we path here, we discard, I guess, Force of Negation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's Udo. So yeah, this actually turns out great for us. Yeah, let's just take Force of Negation, pitch the Force of Negation. So we're gonna take 7, but it doesn't matter because Uro. Boil better than choke, yeah. So my opponent needs to have like main deck Relic right now. I guess main deck Relic was a reason to pitch the Teferi as opposed to the Force of Negation. Maybe that was a mistake actually. Fun is here. Yay. Oh, that's also a good one. Would love to find a land. We don't need a land, but it would be better if we found it. Your dog's barking at the dog barking. That's awesome. That's not enough to win, I don't think. So they could have Dismember, so I guess I'm blocking the Thought Knot here. That JPG, thank you so much for the Prime sub. Welcome back for the 7 months. Let me go close the window. Silly dog. Silly dog. Okay, so this is actually lethal, so we do have to block, so I'm just gonna block the Thought Knot, I think. If they have Dismember, that's bad for us, but they also don't have Dismember. So now Udo just does the thing. Udo just does the thing where he single-handedly just wins the game by itself. And they know about the Path to Exile, so we should be good here. Imagine being an anti-Valki gamer. I like to be the hero house. You have no problem being the bad guy. I fight for the folks, you know? I fight for the people. Gus seems bad, Pierce seems bad, Forces seem bad. That's a lot of really bad cards. Well, I guess that we're not particularly well suited for this matchup. It's fair to say. Probably not gonna matter. Because their deck is not very good. So I guess that I'm playing... They could have chalices. So I guess we keep the forces in. Let's keep in 2 forces. Well, I guess 3 forces, 1 explosives. 2 explosives, sorry. We can't explosives for 4, which is unfortunate. So we can't kill Thought Knots. Yep, all of these cards don't do anything, so... My peak play Magic was killing 4 hollow ones with EE. Nice. that has to be an achievement unlocked. I have definitely managed to do some E for 5 things, killing the fairies, Heroes of Luminary and stuff, but explosives versus a Karn deck, I don't think that our opponent's playing Karn. Would you rather me have Deafening Silence against the Karn deck? Would you rather me have Aether Gust against the Karn deck? Would you rather me have Spell Pierce against the Chalice deck? Like, what are your suggestions? Let's say that our options are not particularly diverse. Okay. Turn to Eternal Scourge. My opponent has done it. Let's get a Hallowed Fountain here. Turn to Eternal Scourge. While 2 for 1-ing themselves, by the way, right? Of course. This is not just turn 2. This is not just turn 2. No. We're 2 for 1-ing ourselves in order to play a turn 2 Eternal Scourge. Definitely pretty excited to be able to cycle this Remand here. When I'm missing some land drops. You got me. That sucks. That really sucks. I mean, we're only playing 28 lands, right? So it kind of makes sense for us to miss land drops. Is Scourge better than Mana Reshaper? I think it's better by a lot, actually. In a matchup like this, Scourge eventually becomes a real threat, right? Mana Reshaper, not so much. Mana Reshaper is only really good against Jund. But, like, so many things are very good against Jund anyway, so... What's my opponent gonna play? Oh. Okay. Sounds good to me. Can we find a land, please? Would love to find a land. There we go. So, 1, 2, 3. We get to cycle this Teferi here. Hopefully we gain 3 life in the process. That would be awesome. We find a land. This is good. Okay, okay, okay. This is good. Serum powder. You got it. Why not bounce the Scourge? I recommend you read Eternal Scourge. Reading the card explains the card. I think we're gonna do the same thing. Like, I'm just gonna cycle these to fairies. If I attempt to bounce the Scourge, I don't draw a card because the ability fizzles. So it's not recommended to do that. At least I wouldn't recommend it. Trusty Mimic resolves. Opponent leaving the Teferi B. This line drop is not bad. Damn text on cards. Yeah, I know. This guy has arms? This looks like a guy that should not have arms, but somehow it has arms. I think we tap and draw here. Unfortunate that our second white source center is tapped, so Supreme Verdict was a little bit awkward here, but next turn is going to be good. Yeah, more to fairies. Let's go. We got this. This relic's kind of obnoxious. Serum powder. I think the play here is going to be to play Udo and path it with the trigger in the stack. Just to hit our land drops. It's going to get exiled anyway. Gonna get a pull lanes here. Yep. Plus the fairy, pass the turn. Isn't this bad versus Smasher? We have a path to exile. We're at 10. We still have a verdict in hand. We know about the what's his name in my opponent's hand? The Rest in Peace. They do attack the fairy. Is this effectively drawing a card, I guess? So I guess this is fine. Because that means that the fairy stays alive. I'm gonna take 3, that's fine. What's this? Such a weird deck to be playing against in 2021. Like this is not good. That's very good for us. Them cracking the relic there is awesome for us. Super happy to see that. Super happy to see that. It's 7 mana. Thought not. So I guess I verdict with the trigger on the stack. Am I playing Money Pile? No. You can always check the deck list I'm playing with exclamation point deck list or deck. And if they don't have the land to play the rip here, we're gonna be in really good shape. Tapping for white. Your Cardboard Live and Stream Decker taps also work to see the deck, unlike most streamers. I care, okay. Do I play classic Amulet Titan? Oh, Win Red Leo. Oh, Win Red Leo. If only you knew. If only you knew. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. It's far and away the deck that I have played the most, and you have literal thousands of hours of Amulet Titan content if you go to my YouTube channel. Actual thousands of hours. Not even joking. You think we got to 1,000 by now? I think so. We have to have gotten to 1,000, right? Smooth Gemini, think about follow. Huge. That's huge because that answers the rest in peace before it hits battlefield. So if I play the fairy, this puts one more card in the graveyard. 1, 2, 3. Then I have to cast Uro. I guess I just Uro and hold up Force plus Mana Leak. And my opponent's gonna need to have 3 answers to Uro in order for me to not Uro next turn. Militania is unfortunately unplayable till Wizards decide to do something about Valki and T-Ball's trigger. Yeah. That is true. Deck is currently not playable. What else you got? Gotta have something else. Otherwise, we're done here. Yeah, that wonder solves. This also allows me to exile this so I can draw the Wrath if I want to. Do I want to draw the Wrath? I guess I can choose to do that later, but I'm definitely leaving the Verdict in the graveyard here. Find a green source. Green, green, blue, blue. Udo. What about Green White Reclaimer? Green White Reclaimer is also unplayable. Glad you asked. I mean, my opponent can play an Eternal Scourge here. Wait, we're exiling Monkey? What? Winds of Abandon. Why are we exiling Monkey to play Winds of Abandon? Like that doesn't even play around Mana Leak. There's no reason to exile Winds of Abandon. We have another one, Path to Exile. Okay. You got me. So I guess we're gonna have to draw Primeval Titan. If this is a Scourge, I'm just gonna leak it. Astral Wren always tier 1. Oh, Astral Wren. Oh, Astral Wren. Astral Wren has given me so much happiness. So many losses too. Losses and happiness are the things that Astral Wren truly delivers in spades. Losses and happiness. Yeah, okay. So let's put this Cryptic back on top. Then we're gonna minus this on nothing. Then we're gonna play another one of these dudes. Plus, pass the turn. Wit plays blue, slam 4 force, and it seems perfectly reasonable for this meta. Yeah, I mean, can't really, oh, there we go. We win now. Can't really go against that statement. Boop. Bounce that one. Cool. I guess I can draw a prime time, so let's do this now. Never lucky. Never, never, ever lucky. This is what the folks like to call garbage time, where my opponent should just be conceding because they are actual 0% to win this game. There we go. Their only chance of winning is me suddenly disconnecting. So I guess they're playing to their outs, technically. Is this game already? Can we move on to the next one? Jesus Christ, man, says my opponent. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Maybe my opponent was upset that on turn 14... on turn 14, after they exile the monkey to play a turn 2 Eternal Scourge, on turn 14, I played a Primeval Titan. So that obviously made my opponent pretty upset. My opponent says that they're a fan of the stream. They're playing a Lurrus deck. Is hand probably not good against the Lurrus deck? This may be better or worse. I guess we're about to find out. I'm gonna keep this, and I guess I'm gonna bottom Fairy. I guess we're bottoming one of these bad boys. Let's bottom Hero of Dominaria. Oh, it is Hammer. Oh, wait, what? Well, obviously I should have bottomed Aether Gust. I was banking on my opponent playing Red Black Shadow. Because they are 3-0, so I assume that they would be playing the best Lurrus deck, but obviously that was wrong of me. Fetch land? Any land, I guess? Please? Udo. And now they're gonna have access to Arbiter. Feels bad, man. Udo is kind of like a land. I mean, it's basically a land, right? Is Valki allowed in the Lurrus deck? I think so. Like, it should be, right? But I am actually not sure. Okay. Tide Hollow Scholar? It is Tide Hollow Scholar. Okay. Well, I'm going to be fetching and I'm going to be playing one of these Teferis, and I'm going to be bouncing this Aether Vial. Black-white Taxes is the weapon of choice. Though you can Castilla from the graveyard with Lurrus, though, all depends on the wording. I honestly don't know. Like, their rules are kind of confusing in that sense. But yeah, I'm definitely going to bounce the Vial and hopefully send my opponent back to the Stone Age a little bit. Now they're going to have a 2-2 that has something under it, but... Any judges in chat? Yeah, I don't know how that works. They do take the Udo. So I think we get... Yeah, let's take Breeding Pool, actually. Definitely gonna bounce the Aether Vial. With my opponent missing land drops. Hell yeah, let's go. Would have loved to have drawn something else. Just something else. Not another Teferi. I guess another Teferi is not the actual worst. Definitely would have much rather have drawn a land. Even a Force of Negation would have been kind of neat. If they just replay Vial, we're just gonna replay the same turn again. They're not replaying Vial. Thalia. Thalia in their Mishra's Bubble deck. That is interesting, to say the least. I'm remanding anything and everything. I am very confused about my opponent's deck building. Yep, you cannot cast the Vial. Land, please. Never drawing a land, I see. Never drawing a land, I see. Just drew a couple too many dead cards this game. Which is quite unfortunate. I can't path there because my opponent just Ghost Quarters me, right? So we just lose here. We just never hit our line drop. Okay, so cut these, in with this, in with these, in with that. Do we want purges? It does kill exactly Tide Hollow's color. Because I'd rather have a Force of Negation for Vial. Though I guess we do have double Python Needle. Yeah, remember when Hate Bears were one-sided and actually fair instead of, or like abilities in Planeswalkers didn't exist and were one-sided? Sure. Being punished for drawing too much gas, suffering from success. Clearly. So this on 2 seems just busted, right? just completely busted. against my opponent's Lurrus deck. I'm definitely going to preemptively play an exclusive too. If we really need to, we can reset it, but my opponent not having turn 1 Vital is huge. I want to get the fetches out of my hand because of Arbiter, obviously. Revoker would be kind of a beating. Revoker would be kind of a beating. So there's that. Why are the numbers so low? I don't know. People are watching Spike right now. I know I was watching Spike, so I would assume that people are watching Spike. I'd probably be watching Spike if I weren't streaming myself. I guess I don't have to play on Mind Sensor. Nice. 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 Pathway seems somehow great and terrible at the same time in my opponent's deck. I don't know how that's even possible, but somehow it seems like it's great and terrible. Like, it gives my opponent both of their mana requirements, but at the same time, it is kind of awkward. Because once it gives them one color, they don't get the other one. It's pretty funny. I'll remand literally anything. Oh, is my opponent playing something? Please play something. Please play something. Yes, yes. Land. I guess I'm not fetching. Land, please. Growth Spiral. Yikes. I guess I have to bounce this file, huh? Which puts me in a super awkward spot. I guess I just have to redraw this remand, which super sucks. It's not bad. So my opponent's gonna have to take the prime time here, I guess. Pathways say to be at their best in slow decks with like splashes, which Saxes tends to be. Yes. But like you're still trying to cast like white and black cards. I guess that whenever you don't have like Flicker Wisp in your deck and Skyclave Apparition, like your mana requirements are a lot easier. So maybe in this version specifically it's fine. But like if you have a double white card and you also have Tide Hollow Scholar, the pathway seems like it's a little bit on the weird side of things. Opponent takes Cryptic. So that has to mean that they have a... No. So they're just YOLOing and hoping that I don't find a land of my top 2 cards. That's a land. Sweet. Well. My opponent says rip. Yeah, rip sounds about right. And here I guess I'm getting definitely Field, but Field plus Field of Ruin. Because this gives me at least 2 Sombos. And like my opponent probably can't beat 2 Sombos. So. Yep. Got me. Here's a forest. They can path my Primeval Titan. But they still can't really beat my 2 zombies. Yeah. I was gonna say, like, 2 2/2s? How has my opponent ever beat 2 2/2s? Is this an offshoot of Reclaimer list or something completely different? I mean, look at the list and you tell me. So do I want to answer... These answers... Vial on the stack. This answers Vial once it hits play. I guess I'd rather have an answer that I can top deck. Looking at the list, not like this. Sure. This list is known as the Pockets Titan. You mean because it's expensive? Trust me, it could be a lot more expensive. If you want expensive, Modern definitely gives you a vast majority of options as far as expensive goes. It really sucks that we are like stuck with these stupid remands. At least it doesn't have rain for the deep bucket option. Yeah, 4 forces, like forces like 100 tickets right now, or like 90 tickets or something. I think it's the most expensive card in MTGO. So sure. Have you thought about putting 7 mana Placewalker into play for 3 mana? It might sound crazy, but I think it might be viable in Modern. Yeah, it sounds about right. Because they don't know about the path. I'm going to keep it over here to the side. Thalia. Opponent missing land drops. So I guess I'm just going to path this Thalia on end step. And then I untap with Cryptic. Scholar is a little bit awkward. Oh, Arbiter. Breeding Pool? I guess I want more white. So Prairie Stream, I guess. Now let's take Breeding Pool. I'm gonna play around Ghost Quarter here by not doing anything right now. Ha! No searching for you. Silly opponent. Silly opponent. Did the ban list come out? There's no bans. Everybody assumed there was going to be a ban announcement, but Wizards never said anything about the ban announcement, so it's not particularly surprising that there were no ban announcements. I'm just doing this because I want to have the clear board. My point is still missing land drops. And now we get to land to fairy on plus. And now we have Titan for next turn. So if they play a Scholar, if they play Thoughtseize, they get us. But if they play like an Arbiter, we're fine. What is this? Because they play Arbiter, we just bounce in Slam Titan. If they play Scholar, we bounce it, Slam Titan. If they play kind of anything whatsoever, we just win. Yep, this game is now over. My opponent could not beat 2 2-2s last game. Let's see if they can beat 4 2-2s now. 4 of them. 4 2-2s. Whee! GG's opponents. GG's. 3-0. Okay. Even though our deck is super teched against Valki decks, and we somehow managed to play against all the weirdness, we're still 3-0. We did play against a bunch of creature decks where we were forced to leave in Remand just because we didn't have enough cards to bring in. My forces are being put to good use. Yeah, I wouldn't expect less, House. Okay, what do we got here? We are on the draw. We are on the draw. Yeah, let's ship this. Too much awkwardness here. If this were a second blue or green source, I would probably keep this hand, but we can't even cast Growth Spiral on turn 2 to dig towards land, so I'm just gonna mulligan. This is better. Just gonna bottom prime time. Turn 1 Horizon Canopy. I don't think that there's anything I'm gonna be pathing on turn 1. Another Taxes Dex? I guess that Taxes kind of makes sense. Like, I think it's just a bad deck, but, you know, for the people who like Taxes style decks, it's probably a fine time to be playing Taxes, I guess. Maybe. Mana trade as opponent scoop the match after you ultimate develop. So I guess we do have to path the Archon because it makes all my land center tapped. What's up, 8legs? How's it going? Land, please. Just gonna lose another. Gonna lose another game 1 to Taxes to never hitting our land drop. Feels bad. Pretty sure tomorrow our episode will be 100% talking about this deck. Sure. I'm honestly not excited. I'm probably gonna remain silent for for a large part of the episode. Not gonna lie. I am honestly not excited about talking about that deck, but I think we have to. Because Wizards sucks. That's why. Yep, this is how we lose to Taxes, obviously. Opponent seems to be a mono white. It's basically confirmed because of the different named cycling lands. It's okay, I won't shut up. It'll balance out me not showing up last week. Sounds good. Yeah. Okay, so I think we're just gonna pack it in here. I'm gonna take one more peek, but if this is not a land, I'm gonna concede. Yeah. Okay, mono white Taxes, explosives, biting needles, gust out, magnetic remand suck. But are better than the alternative. And none of these cards do anything? But I'm gonna try harder to draw lands this game. So we should have a better shot. I was thinking about playing explosives for 1 on turn 1, but I don't think I want to do that because we have Baby Tef. So I'm expecting to, you know, maybe hit my land drop this time around, so... We're totally gonna draw a... Ugh. I think we have to play Growth Spiral. We have to play Explosives there, because otherwise our mana is really awkward if we manage to whiff on a land off this Growth Spiral. And now we're forcing my opponent to play in a super awkward way. This is basically Time Walk. Throwing our spell beer sucks. So hopefully they don't have a Ghost Squatter. They don't, sweet. Apparition. Probably gonna take the explosives. Yep. Makes a lot of sense. Wait, what? Pay for Arbiter? Okay. Weird play there. If we find a fetch, we can actually fetch here, which is awesome. Because we already paid for Arbiter for this turn. And I guess we're taking Hallowed Fountain. Yeah, taking Hallowed Fountain for sure. Yeah, that's fine. And I guess we can name Sunbait Canyon if my opponent doesn't have a thingy. I think it's worth it to pay to see here. Thalia. Bounce Cat. I guess I am actually playing Needle on Sunbait Canyon. I guess I should have named Ghost Squatter. That would have been better. Yeah, that would have been a lot better, actually. Yep. Should have done that. Gonna get a Breeding Pool. Yeah, that was bad. I'm regretting this already. Can we find Uro off the top? Can we find Uro? Uro? How about Remand? We can't even Remand in Cryptic. Man, this is really unfortunate. Explosives would be great. Verdict would be great. Primetime would be great. Spell Pierce, Remand, Spell Pierce. Yeah, I guess that's the play. So hold control, Spell Pierce this. We Remand our own Spell Pierce. Oh, come on. You're killing me, Nick. Ugh, you're killing me. Verdict. So we can... I mean, we're gonna have to Cryptic tap and draw. And then we can path. Blue, there. Udo, where are you? Udo. Am I supposed to just let this go? My opponent did not pay for Arbiter. No, I guess that we do actually pay for Arbiter here, and then we later resolve. Okay, so they do pay for Arbiter. That seems fine, though. For 1 mana, there's nothing they can really do. Udo. Prime time. Asking you shall receive, etc., etc. One, two, three, four, five. Skyclave in hand. We do the same thing next turn, so I'm not too worried if my opponent has Skyclave in hand. Has twice, get 2. Yeah, I know. Here's the apparition. Not particularly surprising. But we casually gained 6, so we're not dead to this attack anymore. So we're looking pretty good here. Told you I would come if you're not streaming Amulet in ever a stream, and here I am as promised. Hey Shadowless, welcome to the stream. Happy to have you here. This Thalia is starting to get really annoying. Oh, there we go. So I guess we win now. Awesome. Winning is great. Green, green, blue, blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have path? Wow. Really? They have path to exile in their deck. I guess they're that scared about Uro, huh? Three fairy. Let's try a cryptic command, I guess. Path is normal for them. This is post board. So I'm not so sure that you want Path to Exile in this matchup post board. Skyclave Apparition to exile my Soundbait Canyon. Resolves. To exile my Pity Needle name means Soundbait Canyon, I mean. That resolves. Can't really attack because of the Thalia just yet, but I don't want to attack either, so we're fine. At least they find a way to make Modern more diverse. Yeah, I mean, my opponent's trying, I appreciate that. Always keep 1 or 2 paths against Euro matchups. Okay. If that path to exile might have been something else, maybe my opponent would be in better shape right here, but I'm honestly not sure. I will very happily remand this. Very, very happily remanding that. And now we can let it resolve, and we can just path it, or we can just bounce it with the fairy, both of which seem like delightful options. Arbor doesn't do anything anymore, so I'm not worried about it. Opponent doesn't have good attacks. We have Ebezillion mana. Huh. Yeah, that will do. Oh. That one too? Sweet, sweet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gonna be sculpting some minds here. I think I'm gonna be blowing up my own Teferi just to get rid of all the Skyclaves and the We're getting rid of all the Skyclaves and the Archon. I was creator, thank you for the follow. Okay, my opponent doesn't want to play anymore. Crazy how whenever we hit land drops, we somehow win. No, I think I definitely won't by needle. With my opponent having like path and swords, maybe I'm interested in Force of Negation. What a beautiful format. I mean, honestly, like, this is kind of cool. Exactly what's going on right here. Don't turn to Arbiter. Don't turn to Arbiter. Just don't Arbiter me, bro. Thalia I can work with. But Arbiter just owns me so hard here. Don't Arbiter me. Yeah, that's fine. This can't name lands. So they can't stop me from getting my mana online. I imagine they're gonna name explosives. They did see explosives. So they probably should name explosives. I hated playing against this. Oh, okay. Means the CEE is gonna be pretty gas. Haven't been around for a while. How are the viewer numbers? Should I leave? The viewer numbers have been kind of the worst that they've been in a long time. Probably the past year. Wait, how did we get to 110 viewers? Did we get a raid or something? Did I miss a raid? Limited when? I streamed limited the other day. It was fun. I've been doing a lot of winning in limited, Chief. Been doing a lot of winning. Still not too sure why, but no raid? Oh, sweet. So maybe like Spike just stopped streaming and maybe I got some of the folks from Spike's. Feels bad, man. I mean, if I do find an untapped land, imagine if we double Thalia, my opponent Thalia's into Cat, and then we. Oh, it's happening. Untap land off the top. Can we draw an untap land, Chad? Untap land. Untap land. Hook me up, deck. Hook me up. Untap land. No, not that one. Damn it. We're gonna take a lot of damage this turn. So I guess I'm gonna have to path something. Okay, I'm gonna have to path something. So I'm gonna path the cat. Yeah, I guess it is technically an untap land, so I can't really complain too much. Yeah, untap not non-fetch was what I should have called for. Archon of Emeria. That's their spell for turn. And now we're gonna fetch on end step for what is this gonna be? Our mana is kind of awkward. Like if we want cryptic mana, then we're not gonna have. So I guess we just have to find a second breeding pool. That really sucks though. So I guess I'm just gonna get Hallowed Fountain. Just Hallowed Fountain tapped. Path is not bad. This is in draw step. Interesting. Let's go to basic forest. And I guess I'm just gonna play Field of the Dead, and I'm just gonna play explosives. Just EE for 2. Just get my 2 for 1. Get the Thalia and the Revoker out of the battlefield. It's bad if my opponent finds another Cat Jesus, but probably super dead to Cat Jesus anyway. I could go to 1, but like if they have Cat Jesus, it's the same thing anyway. So I think I'm not gonna take the damage. Don't have it. Don't you dare play a cat. Sword of Fire and Ice. Yikes. No, this is actually great for me. Oh, this is so good. This is so good for me right here. Now we take 4 and we just path the Archon. That is awesome. Yeah, that's such a blowout. We go down to 3 here. Then we crack explosives. If we find a blue source, we hold up Cryptic. That's a blue source. Opponent down to 1 card in hand. Oh. Just like that? Get an island. So 1, 2. We can crack explosives and we can just jam Teferi 5. That seems very good to me. Guess we find an island. Yeah, that was kind of a very wasteful Ghost Quarter. I think my opponent got a little bit trigger happy there. I think we get a white source here. Skyclave Apparition for no value. minus on the sword. And then we minus on the apparition. And now we name Canopy. We name Sword. Yeah, let's name Sword of Fire and Ice. Sword of Fire and Ice. Yeah, I think it's worth needling the sword. If they have another Canopy land, then they're going to be able to draw their apparition, but that doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything. Okay, so they're top decking apparition here. And we're going to have Uro. So I think we are turning the corner here. Yep, that's a blue source. My opponent is so aggressive. This doesn't trigger field, I guess, so I'm just going to let this go. Like, none of their ghost quarters did anything at all. All of their ghost quarters have been kind of a waste. Gonna tap double both blue sources. So now we're gonna be able to remand the apparition and then counter it again if they replay it. We have reached the point in our return. Yeah, this game is now officially over. My opponent is officially 0% to win this game. Sweet. 4-0. Facing a grand total of 0 Valki decks. That's the problem of playing in leagues, right? I'm building a deck with a specific deck in mind, and then I'm playing against all the random nonsense, including Eldrazi Stompy, mono white Eldrazi Stompy. I'm surprised we don't want Deafening Silence or Nyx in the 75. You mean Deafening Silence? You mean this one right here? You mean these ones right here? We have a lot of stuff against the Valki thing. Also, I do like the existence of Nyx. I don't think it's playable. No, we have played against no trickery decks. You should have played Amulet if you were not planning on facing Vulcan. What a waste. For real, right? Ooh, we got a prediction. What's the prediction? Actually, I'm gonna be right back. course, whenever I leave, somebody joins the queue. There we go. How was Valki Titan? I don't know. How was it? What prediction do we got going on? How can I see the predictions? Can we see the predictions? Yeah, 80% win rate. Yeah, hell yeah. I assume you had already tested? No. I'm not. I don't want to play Valki decks. Like, I'd rather not play Modern than play Valki decks. So I'm being stubborn. But I have no competitive Modern events that I want to play anyway, so I have no reason to test decks that I don't want to play. I approve your stubbornness, okay? Playing against my opponent who's 3-0 right now. And they reveal Lurrus. Okay, no Valki decks in this league. No Valki decks in this league. Guess I'd rather put my opponent on a white deck. Okay, now they are actually playing Black Red Shadow. Okay, so basically every time I've tried to say something and like for my opponent to be doing something, they were doing something else. I really wish I didn't have to pass this, but I think I'm going to. No, I guess it is just too early to path. But I feel like I'm gonna be pathing this eventually. Let's get a Hallowed Fountain. Udo is a very, very nice pickup. Mono Bubbles for opponent. Boldface. Okay, with my opponent missing a land drop here, I think I'm just going to... I'm not gonna path. Definitely want to play Udo. Pass the turn. Okay, they found another land. Oh, okay. So put a Temple Garden into play. Play my land. Play my Teferi. Minus and Goif. They know about the mana leak. I'm not gonna protect this Teferi, obviously. I don't care about it. It did what it had to do. And I'm just gonna use mana leak here. Opponent can play a Shadow, we just path it, so no big deal there. Land is interesting. Because I think my opponent has push. They could have Cling, though. But I just have Cryptic in hand. I think I just passed the turn. I love how this entire game I've had Path from turn 1 and I just never used it. Alright. Sure. So... just cycling here. I guess I tapped horribly, didn't I? Whoops. Yep, just tapped like an idiot. Just tapped like an idiot. Land is nice. Land is nice. So opponent's gonna push. I think we let the push resolve. Hold on to the mana leak for Lurrus. Although I guess that were mana Lurrus anyway. Yep, we're taking it easy. Choose your poison. Yeah, Spell Pierce is obviously because of all the Valki decks. Sounds a lot, right? If you ask me. Verdict, Explosives, Soul Guide. Don't want Forces, I want Gusto. Because I don't like Remand. Hashtag Jan Life Thoughtseize into Scoop. Yeah, for real, right? If this was paper, I would expect a no fuck from an opponent. Yeah, that was a hand. Blood Moon. No Blood Moon. Not having to play around Blood Moon is nice. Cryptic Remand. That's great. Great username. Thank you for your follow. Did you not add another Gust? Not when I don't know if my opponent's playing Blood Moon or not. And now that I see that my opponent's not playing Blood Moon, then I don't feel like I need it. They are playing Jund, I guess. So maybe it is worth it, because they might have a Ren. Surgical? I mean, that's a good surgical. And if they drop a shadow here, I am pretty scared. Alright. That's a really good start from them. Really, really good start from them. They are kind of out of gas, though. Gracias. They are kind of out of gas. Like, so I just have to beat this shadow. I'm this Lurrus, obviously, but... Yeah, that was a good surgical. The good thing is that now my opponent, like if we draw an Uro, now my opponent doesn't have a surgical for the Uro. But not having access to Cryptic in a matchup like this one can be a problem potentially. White source. White source. Brutal. Well, that Cryptic that my opponent stole would be pretty damn good right now. Swift Spear. White source. Ha ha ha! That's pretty good too, I guess. This meta base seems problematic. I don't argue with that. Don't argue with that. So they're gonna slam Lurrus here. Oh, that's a lot worse. White source. Still can draw white source. Never found a white source. Never saw a fetch land either. We had... all of these as white sources. So we have 14 white sources. It's not that many. Any thought on Veil? I think that Veil is a trap against Shadow decks. We do know that they don't have Blood Moon though. So maybe because there's no Moon, I'm actually interested in Veil. I do think it's not great. But the fact that they have... they don't have Blood Moon. Also, we could bring in the third Gust because they have Goyf. I don't like the third Gust. But it may be better than Soul Guide Lantern. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Just playing a basic forest on turn 1. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it at all. This is pretty awkward though, because this is pretty awkward because like our Uro is gonna be open to surgical, but probably nothing we can do about it. I mean, I guess we can just pass. No. They're gonna be able to surgical my Uro here, which really sucks, but... they can't have choke here. Probably gonna get Temple Garden. Another Goif. One, two, 1, 2, 3. We just have Lurrus here. Set up to play Euro next turn. Not bad. Not bad. I guess I don't want to draw Veil though. Oh, I'm an idiot. Why do I keep getting confused with this? Well, mistakes were made. Obviously, I had to play the other one. Maybe Eurotize was the play? Yeah, you don't say. You don't say. Alright, my opponent is going all in. One, two, three, four, five, six. We play a land. We play Soul Guide. We crack Soul Guide. 1, 2, 3, 4. We only get one zombie. So I guess we get a Sombo here and we hold up Cryptic for this turn. We can play our last Udo though, which I think I'm gonna do. Yeah, so we play our last Udo. And we're gonna be holding up Cryptic this turn. Play this, Sombo. Assassin's Trophy Field. This seems fine to me. Yeah, this seems good. This also means I can save this Flooded Strand to rebuy the Cryptic command after I play my Udo next turn, which is nice. Just get... I can get a Plains here. Yeah, I can get a Plains here. We do still get a Sombo. So blue, 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 1. Double creatures, draw a card. If they draw exactly Surgical, this would suck, but they would have needed to draw Surgical exactly then. Yep, okay, we're good now. One, 2, 3, 4. Did I just... I just forgot to Cryptic this back on top. Whoops. Hey chat, why Bant over Sultai? Why are you trying out Bant and still prefer Sultai? I'm trying out Bant because Teferi is a card that's very good right now. Kind of fucked up there. Kind of fucked up pretty badly, actually. Yeah, I think that Path Spiral Path is going to be the new line. But it's obviously worse than what we could have done, right? So they play their creature already. What's this? They top deck exactly trophy. They top decked exactly trophy. So we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards in the graveyard, 5. So what if I path here, put Cryptic back on top, draw a card, we take 5 plus 4 plus 4, it's no good. Oh no, wait, we can block here with Zombie, and we can path here. We take 9 down to 4. Yeah, I don't have another planes. I guess Spireful League is a good line. Find another land. Because I don't want to put this one into play. May still be okay here. Take 8. My opponent's gonna get to... I guess let's guarantee that we draw the Cryptic. Let's guarantee that we draw the Cryptic. Now we Udo. Green, green, blue, blue. Udo comes here. Field would have been great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have not played a land this turn, so I guess I hold on to this. Bingo. They replay the bubble immediately. Horsepower, I think they'll follow. And they bubble themselves. Just Cryptic Bounce, right? We lose to exactly Assassin's Trophy number 3. We lose to exactly Assassin's Trophy number 3, but seems worth it. So return target permanent, tap all creatures. Blue, blue, green, blue, 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 blue. GG's. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. First league. First 5-0. Not bad. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. It's time for the Twitter picture. I think it's Twitter picture time. There we go. Twitter picture time. There's something I want to say though. And that something is that I'm not sure that this is a Primeval Titan deck. I'm just playing Primeval Titan just to feel at home, but I don't know. I don't know if this is a Primeval Titan deck. The shells seem nice though. We played against. Let's go over a league result. So this was Temur Giants. Eldrazi was kind of okay there. This was the Eldrazi deck. This was black-white Lurrus Taxes. This was mono-white Taxes. And this was Lurrus Shadow. So Gust was only playable in the first and in the last matchup. And it was basically a blank on the other 3. Teferi was kind of great in every matchup though. Our sideboard is definitely not well built because we found ourselves in situations where we literally didn't have enough cards to bring. So if you find yourself in a situation where you're in a matchup and you literally cannot bring enough cards, or you cannot take out enough cards from your deck and bring in reasonable ones instead, that's probably a sign that your sideboard could be improved a little bit. But besides that, the deck kind of felt nice and smooth. You could cut both prime times for maybe another Jace and maybe another Teferi. You could do just like our promise. To be fair, Titan was kind of great though. Like in our bad matchups, like in basically in the matchups that were not aimed towards playing, Titan was kind of good. Spell Pierce was pretty weak. Spell Pierce was actually pretty weak. But again, like it's there for a different reason, right? So whenever I build this deck, I put the cards in the deck because specifically of the T-Vault matchup. So T-Vault, Valki, however you want. We have to be fair, notable decks in League. Yeah, obviously, but I built my deck to beat the T-Ball decks. So, like, that's That's the thing. Like, I built my deck to beat on Tibalt decks. Like, I have a bunch of cards that are specifically good against the Tibalt decks, and we just managed to dodge all of the Tibalt decks. So, like, that's whatever. So I don't think that necessarily it's a bad thing that we dodged the Tibalt decks. In fact, the fact that we dodged the Tibalt decks and we still 5-0'd tells me that the deck is just powerful in the abstract, right? So like I built my deck to beat the Tibalt decks, and I didn't see any, and I still went 5-0. So that tells me that the deck is just in the abstract just good. Definitely the meta base needs work. I think I would like one more fetch land. So probably we cannot play this Field of Ruin. This deck basically concedes against Tron, right? Yeah, it's basically we're just giving up the Tron matchup. Man, Bant Triumph would be so smooth in this list. Reflecting Pool was a little bit on the awkward side of things. Maybe that's what I cut. The issue is that if I cut Reflecting Pool, then I only have 3 white sources in my entire deck, like 3 actual white sources. So for example, if I'm playing against the deck where Supreme Verdict is good, and then they have a bunch of Ghost Quarters, then I actually run into the potential issue of not having enough white sources to cast my Supreme Verdict. So that would be a big problem. Yashim play ban until I face Tibalt's trickery. Force is pretty good versus Tron. I don't think Tron is that bad, to be honest. You have 4 Force. How do you concede the Tron matchup? I mean, it's not like you force something and you win against Tron, right? Like, you need everything to line up. Because like you force their first big play and then they play something else and then they play a Nulamog and you're like, well, there he goes. And if you ever miss a line drop against Tron, you basically insta lose. So I think that you are very much what's the word, minimizing how not free the Tron matchup is. We could cut a basic, but I really don't want to. We definitely don't want to cut Flooded Grove. Flooded Grove was actually pretty nuts, so. Which line should I cut? Real talk here. Field of Ruin. Yeah, I mean, that's probably correct. We have no way to recur it. So that's probably what I have to do. Like, I don't love doing it, but I feel like I just have to. Cut Pierce. So I think that we're missing the point. Like, again, like this card is here not because I want it to or because I like it. It's because of the Tibalt decks. So like I built my deck to beat Tibalt, and you're telling me to make the deck not to beat Tibalt. It's just like, that's literally what it's built to do. Like, I'm not gonna be cutting the cards that are good against Tibalt. Like, I don't love having. I think this is not a very good card, but it is a card that is worth main decking in today's metagame, because today's metagame is an absolute fucking joke. I don't think you can cut fetches when you're playing Uro. Yeah, obviously, like I'm not. I literally just added the 10th fetch. Like, I'm obviously not gonna cut the line that I literally just added. So, like, precisely, I want more fetches because my mana was a little bit iffy. I'd say either Field or Filler. Yeah, I think that Field is just gonna go. It's just fine. again, this list is for a very specific metagame, right? It's not like 2 weeks ago I would have been playing this list in a modern league. This list was built with a very, very specific metagame in mind. Like, I would not be playing Deafening Silence in my control deck if it weren't because of the T-Bolt deck. I do find kind of funny paper players don't have to deal with no nonsense that's been happening in Moto. Yeah. I mean, I am a paper player, but I mean, there's no paper to play, so paper players don't have to deal with anything. It's great. Probably if I had to play another league, which I'm probably gonna be doing tomorrow. This is gonna be it for today. I'm not gonna be playing another league because I have to go in 1 hour. I have to leave, so I'm not gonna be able to finish a second league. But this was cool though. Like, this deck is definitely doing something powerful again. Like, we beat a bunch of decks that were not the T-Ball decks, and we still came out on top. So clearly that's a good sign. So I think I would make a couple of changes. I would probably cut either a Biting Needle or the Deafening Silence, and I would play something that's a little bit more generic. Like, for example, if we get paired against humans or something like that, or spirits, I want to cut all my counter magic, and I literally have nothing to bring in. So that seems to me like a little bit of a blind spot. That also might be a reason to just cut Veil of Summer from the sideboard, because the sideboard mapping just does not work out. So we might be in a situation where, because we have cards like Purge or Gust, which are fine against some matchups, but we might need to cut them for some other stuff. I could see Vendilion Clique style cards, for example, which is a card that just trades with spirits, it just trades with Mantis Rider. So, like, it's obviously not a card you're excited. You're not putting Vendilion Clique in your sideboard because of the humans matchup, right? But if you have to play it in the humans matchup, it's like it's serviceable. Like, you trade with a Mantis Rider and you take a peek at what they have in hand, or you cycle one of your bad cards. So would it be better to cut Dispute instead of Veil? I'd rather have access to the Dispute. Again, like, I am a lot lower on Veil, as most people are. A lot of people, I think, in my opinion, overvalue Veil. I don't know if I am just very unlucky, which is possible, but I have died with a Veil in my hand way too many times. I have died staring at a Veil of Summer in my hand way too many times. So I think that in a lot of matchups, Veil of Summer is a lot more of a trap than people think it is. And right now, even all the control decks are playing Teferi Time Raveler, which Veil kind of sucks against. So, like, I'd much rather have Dispute against my opponent's Teferi Time Raveler than I'd rather have Veil. So maybe you should cycle Veil more often. Yeah, that's a possibility, but at the same time, then I'm playing a one mana cycler in my deck. That's just not a good deck. That's just not a good card, right? Stifle Bird, stop that Cascade. Now that's some spice right there. Thalia might be okay, it's different against Trickery. What? You mean playing Thalia in my Cryptic Command deck? We played against Thalia in a Mishra's Bubble deck earlier today, and it didn't look too great, so I'm assuming that Thalia in the Teferi matchup's probably not great either. Tailsend I had in my original list, and I ended up cutting them. Again, I think that it's a fine card, but it's just not redundant enough, you know. Hey, that the answer to all this deck playing Teferi is playing your own playset of Teferi. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I wish one thing is that if we don't answer a Teferi on the stack, we're going to really struggle. We didn't play against any Teferi decks, but if my opponents were to answer to, like, land a Teferi, we would really, really struggle to get rid of it. and it kind of blanks a good portion of our deck, so not great. Definitely not great. Our response to bossing death is our own, but it's better than nothing. Yeah, for sure. But like, it's not like we have access to like lightning bolt or something like that, which would be like a not a great answer, but like a sort of answer to Teferi. I don't know. Nah, I'm not playing Ice Fang in this deck. Shark. You could cut 2 prime times and add 2 sharks. Probably not a great idea, but yeah, shark is definitely good. But what would you cut for a shark? We could have some sharks in the sideboard too. That's definitely an option. That is definitely an option. Maybe over spell pierce. Is going to 3 out of the question? No, not necessarily. No, I'm not married to the 3 euros. I am married to the 4 Teferis though. I am married to playing 4 Teferis. We could play only 3 Forces of Negation as well. I think I'd rather go with 4, but like if we need to play 3, we can play 3. That's no big deal. We can play only 3 euros. I don't know what I would play instead of the 4th euro though. The thing is that Udo, when Udo is just so good when everything else fails. You know what I'm saying? So like, for example, we played a full league. We didn't play against any of the Tibalt decks. Like, our deck is built for beating on the Tibalt decks, and we didn't face any of them. Yet Udo just does so much heavy lifting. When you're not getting paired against the matchup that you were expecting, right? So that is like, it's just such a great safety net. You know, when everything fails, just Udo. And it's kind of like that, right? Like, having access to the full 4 copies of Udo. We played against Taxes, and my opponent, they skyclipped 1, they passed the 2nd one, and then the 3rd Udo was just carried the entire rest of the match, you know? So like, you just wait, you Udo into Udo, and then it's just like, well, there's that, you know, like, there goes that matchup, you know? So that is the thing. I guess we could cut Ashiok. It's just so great in the mirror match though. Or like the pseudo mirror, like against the Omnath nonsense and stuff. It just sometimes comes down and just sits there doing nothing and everything at the same time. Udo beats Reg anyway. I mean, we have Soul Guide, which honestly, it's another potential cut. It's another potential cut for sure. Maybe cut Ashiok for Lantern. I don't know. I feel like there's very many different places to go with this, but I feel like I will just continue tinkering with the list the next couple of days. But we went 5-0, so Modern is fine. Don't freak out. Obviously, Modern is shit. Modern is shit. But it's fine. Like, it's... I can continue being stubborn. But that's gonna be it for me today here. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you did enjoy the video, and I will see you again tomorrow probably. Maybe I will play some limited. Honestly, I've been enjoying playing limited a little bit too much, so you might see some limited tomorrow. Who knows? But yeah, thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.